Hey guys, it's Becca. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing super well, and if you are new here, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell down below because I am uploading weekly now, and I also might change my upload date, so there's lots of great stuff coming and I don't want you guys to miss any of it. For today's video, I'm going to be continuing the series I started a few weeks ago, which if you missed that video, I will go ahead and link it up here and down below for you guys if you want to catch up on that, which was all about how to go vegan. But today's video is going to be how to quit fast fashion and transition to a more sustainable wardrobe. And if you don't know, fast fashion is basically when companies put out new items very, very quickly, and the way they're able to do that is usually at the expense of the environment and their workers. So because they are cutting so many of these corners, they're able to price these items usually very, very inexpensively, which just further promotes this unsustainable and unethical buying cycle. And there are companies out there that obviously are higher end, more expensive, but they can still be considered fast fashion as well if they are not being sustainable and ethical in ways that are really, really important. So if you want to break up with that industry and stop supporting it with your dollar, then just keep on watching. Alright, so my first tip is the same as the one I shared in my last video, but that is because I believe it is so important, and that is to do your research. Like I said in my last video, when you know why you are doing something, it makes it so much easier to actually make that transition, to feel confident in that transition, and then to stay with that transition in the long term. I think just having this really strong basis of knowledge behind you is really the key to achieving any kind of change in your life. And in terms of cutting out fast fashion, your why power, as Sadia from Pickup Limes calls it, is probably going to be deeply rooted to environmental and ethical reasons like I talked about earlier, but it may also bring you into some different things such as minimalism, just wanting to have less items and less stress in your life, also saving money by buying fewer clothing items and things like that. So really just do your research, kind of figure out what things you identify with within this movement and within this change that you're making, and I think that will bring so much power to your life. And I will definitely link below some different resources I like. I actually haven't watched it, but many people recommend The True Cost. It's a documentary that you can stream through Netflix. It is on my to-do list to watch it. I promise I will do it at some point. I just have not done it yet. My second tip for you guys is to cut out temptation. So if you are going to the mall or just different stores and you are seeing all of these cute new items, then you're definitely going to be more likely to buy them. That has been my personal experience. I actually just cut out fast fashion last year, and I did so well the entire year just because I wasn't going to stores anymore. And then on Black Friday, I did go out with my family because I decided I was going to buy one thing that's like part of a tradition with my sister, but then I ended up seeing this other beautiful jacket and I did cave and I bought it. And I'm not totally proud of that, but I want to share that with you guys just as proof that really if you don't see these things, they will be out of your mind. Out of sight, out of mind, like people say. It is so true with this, and so that is why I'm recommending to you guys to really try to avoid going to fast fashion stores. You know, if going to the mall is a thing you and your friends like to do, maybe you can suggest instead that you guys get coffee or you try thrift shopping or something like that. And this tip also applies to social media. I don't know about you guys, but I used to follow a lot of different fast fashion stores online, and nowadays you can just click one button and go buy that item. Online shopping is so convenient and easy these days. It just can take the whole thinking about buying an item straight out of the equation. So definitely cut that out of what you're following and also what you're doing in your everyday life. But of course, you guys know I believe that social media and the internet can also be a really wonderful way to get information. So my third tip is to replace all those accounts you unfollowed with some actually inspiring ones and some ones that identify with your new beliefs. So this might be different influencers who are sharing how they make sustainable fashion work in their lives, which is great because you can get inspiration and motivation from them, as well as lots of great practical tips. Again, I will link some of my favorites down below. And then you can also start to follow some sustainable fashion companies if that's the route you want to go. I think that's just so cool, even if you aren't going to buy from them because the price point or whatever, it can just be really cool to see all the different fabrics and technologies that are coming out, and it's just a great way to get inspired. My fourth tip for you guys is just to stop buying new things. That is what I did last year, except for that one item like I mentioned, and honestly, first of all, it is a huge money saver. But if you are anything like me, and of course this is just a generalization, but I'm assuming my audience can relate to this, you probably have enough stuff already. I know I have a closet full of clothes which I'm fortunate to have, but that really shows that I don't need these new fast fashion items. And so I do love clothing, and fashion is really important to me for different reasons, but I can use items that I already own or buy things secondhand, which is just so much better. And so like I said, if you have enough stuff, I would definitely just go back into your closet, take some time to reorganize it and have some fun. You know, just take an afternoon or a night and, you know, try on a bunch of your different clothes. Chances are there's probably stuff you forgot you even had, or you can find new ways to restyle it, and I think that's super fun. And honestly, like, if you're into fashion, I think that kind of creativity and that challenge might actually be a really enjoyable experience for you. That's not 5. My 5th tip for you guys is to learn how to thrift. So I always recommend buying things secondhand, whether that's from a traditional thrift store or other avenues as well, before you turn to sustainable fashion, which is honestly more practical for a lot of people because sustainable fashion tends to be at a higher price point when they are no longer cutting those environmental and ethical corners. But also, if you're buying something new, it is of course taking new resources to produce, and if there's already enough stuff in your closet, there's already enough stuff in the world as a whole. So I would definitely always turn to secondhand stores first, and if you are going to like a traditional Goodwill or Salvation Army, I think a lot of people can be intimidated by those stores, and that's to be expected. It's, you know, completely out of the way. You may have lived your life in what has been your norm for many years, but really it just takes practice. You have to go in there, you have to get your hands a little bit dirty, but it can be so much fun. And if you guys want to see like a whole video on like how to thrift, what my routine is, then I will definitely do that for you guys. But in the meantime, I will link a podcast episode down below from Live Planted where the host Alyssa goes into detail about her habits when she's in the store buying, as well as bringing the items home and cleaning them, which is very important of course. But like I said, it just takes practice and you just have to be committed to it. And if maybe those traditional thrift stores aren't your jam, there are still plenty of other ways to shop secondhand. And so that is my 6th tip, and that's to try out other types of secondhand stores. So to name a few of the different ones you can try, there are things that are more like a curated boutique. So as you guys know, I am always raving about Plato's Closet. Basically, it's a type of resale shop, but they only resell certain items, and so things are usually pretty cute, pretty up to date. It's a very easy store to shop in since they are looking for things that are still like in fashion here in Richmond. And there's also a few in North Carolina. We have a store called Rumors, which is a little more on like the vintage side of things. And in downtown Raleigh, if any of my viewers are from there, there's also one called Uptown Cheapskate, and they tend a little more towards like the preppy side. Lots of free people, Lily Pulitzer, that kind of thing. You can also just go the old-fashioned route and swap with your friends and families. I am the second child in my family, so growing up, probably half of my clothes were hand-me-downs from my older sister. But honestly, we still give things to each other that just we no longer want or doesn't fit us or something. I had a pair of jeans that was one size too big, and so I gave them to her, and it's just really great. And again, that can be something fun to do with your friends. And the last method of secondhand shopping is to shop online. Now this has definitely been growing in the past few years, and there's so many great online platforms for shopping secondhand. And the great thing about doing this online is that you have a search bar, so you don't have to go into the store and look through every single garment on the rack. You can type in exactly what you're looking for. So this can be really great if you're looking for something super specific, like there's a specific type of shoe you want, there's a specific brand of something you want, and you can type all of that in and filter your search, which is super easy, and it still has all of that convenience of online shopping if that is kind of how you like to shop. So some examples of online stores are ThredUp, which you've probably heard about from many different YouTubers. There's also plenty of apps like Depop and Poshmark. My boyfriend actually has a Depop shop, so I'll link that down below because I'm always trying to support him. And then yeah, there's also Facebook Marketplace, which I think is a little bit better for things like furniture and home stuff, same with like eBay and Craigslist and that kind of thing. I actually got this bed frame off of eBay from someone secondhand, so that's really cool. Just take some time, try out some different things, see which one you like the best. The only thing is I wouldn't use this as a first resource necessarily, because with online shopping there's of course the associated costs both for you monetarily but also environmentally of shipping and all the emissions that planes and trucks and cars and all of that produce. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I think online shopping still is a really great option because of how easy it is and also how accessible it is. Because I know a lot of people, they say the thrift stores just aren't good in my area, I just can never find certain things, and so that's why I think online shopping is really great. And of course, even if all those stores still aren't your thing or you are looking to invest in some things, my 7th tip is to check out some sustainable companies. So like I said earlier, I wouldn't really recommend this as your first stop, but similar to online shopping, it can be really great for specific things or things you can't find or something you are wanting to invest in long term. And like I also said, these things can tend to be more expensive, so maybe since you've stopped buying so many things, you can take the money you would usually be spending at like Forever 21 or whatever. I have no idea what that sound is. I hope you guys cannot hear that. You guys can maybe save up some money that you're not using to spend on fast fashion and invest in these pieces for yourself. Or what I like to do is I like to ask for these kinds of things for my birthday, for Christmas. I actually got a Patagonia raincoat for Christmas 2 years ago, and that was like $100, but it is made of like recycled materials and all of that great stuff. So that wasn't really something I ever saw in the thrift store, and I probably could have looked secondhand, but like I said, that was 2 years ago and I'm still learning so much about this. And my 8th and final tip for you guys is to just have fun with it. Like I've said, I think it is so much fun to go into secondhand stores and find things that really align with your style, or try out new things, or even just to go into your closet and reimagine those pieces. And especially if you're into fashion, I would think that it would be so much fun to do that versus just shopping at stores that have already decided what's trendy and what's stylish. I think when you go into secondhand stores, you get to make that decision yourself, which is really, really fun. And I also shared this in my last video, but if you can, get a buddy to do this with you. I'm really fortunate that my boyfriend has gotten into this kind of thing alongside me, so we have so much fun going into thrift stores. We do it so often. There's a great Goodwill by his house. He actually calls it Great Will. It's pretty funny. So yeah, just have fun with it, and again, I think that's another really important part of making this sustainable in your life. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. It would help so much to support my channel. I'm hoping to hit 250 subscribers by the end of January, so if you want to help me out with that, it would seriously mean the absolute world to me. You guys can also go follow me on Instagram. It is just at becca.gargiulo. I share a lot more information over there about my lifestyle and stuff. And in a few seconds up on the screen, there'll be 2 videos that I think you guys would enjoy. And with all that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.